It's Sunday school. Once again, we meet for Sunday school. This morning, we're reading from my article in the October 2004 edition of Fate magazine. This is how old it is. There's predictions. Bush or Kerry, who will win? Gargoyles attack. Ghosts of the Alamo. And Lon Milo DuQuette, talking about the terrors of the threshold, astral projection, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So now, why am I so happy and cheerful today? Well, I'm lucky to be alive. And I'm lucky to be breathing and relatively healthy. And but no, we haven't found a house yet. And we're still crazy running around and packing up and trying to see places and get appointments and stuff. But anyway, I'm happy anyway. And summer's coming on. Terrors of the Threshold, Astral Projection, and the Egyptian Book of the Dead. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with a sleep. That's from The Tempest, Act 4, Scene 1, Shakespeare. Under the heading Zombies in the Basement. It was one of those hot, humid summers for which Nebraska is notorious. Sundown brought little relief. I was 15 years old and uncomfortable enough in my teenage body as it was, but that night the sweltering heat made it impossible to sleep. I grabbed my pillow and trudged down to the basement, where it was a few degrees cooler. When I was younger, I'd been afraid of the basement, its darkness and strange, earthy smells. But now I welcomed its musty promise of cool relief. I tossed and I turned on the pull-out bed and finally found an almost comfortable position, my arm dangling over the edge of the mattress, my hand resting on the cool cement floor. I had just drifted into a sweaty half-sleep when I became aware of an irritating noise that sounded like the random slaps of a brush upon a loosely set snare drum. More annoyed than frightened, I got up and made my groggy way through the darkness to the foot of the stairs. There, huddled on the steps, were people. Horrible-looking people. Zombies, I thought. There must have been a dozen of them, packed together as if they were hiding. I was terrified. They seemed oblivious to my presence. Indeed, they seemed oblivious to each other. I started to shout at them, "Get the hell out of here!" But my vocal cords were paralyzed. I couldn't utter a word. I tried again and again, but could only push out a terrified howl, sort of a... I was petrified with fear. The ghastly mob started to move down the stairs as if gravity was sucking them down the stairs like a lazy tide of unclean ooze. I panicked at the thought of being cornered in the basement by this wave of monsters. I knew I had to somehow fight my way through them to get upstairs to safety. The pit of my stomach tingled as I gathered every ounce of energy and courage I could. I felt like I could fly, and I was actually thrilled as I pushed my way up the stairs. The zombies didn't make it easy. They attached themselves to me as if to feed on my energy. Their bodies were cold and foul, like pale, bloated corpses that had been in stagnant water for a long time. They touched me obscenely from head to foot, clawing away pieces of my flesh as I struggled up the steps. Still, I pushed what was left of me up the steps until I reached the landing. I had made it. Something impelled me to look out of the window of the door to the backyard. I saw a large swimming pool. I thought, oh, I'd love to take a swim right now and wash this zombie scum off me. Wait a minute. We don't have a swimming pool in the backyard. Not only that, there's no window in the back door. Only then did it occur to me that this was a dream. But this was more than a dream. I looked down at my hands and saw the familiar lines in my palms. If this was a dream, I wanted to wake up. I tried to wake myself up, but I couldn't. The only thing I could think to do was to go back to bed and wake myself up. Instantly, I found myself in my own bedroom, flat on my back, in bed, staring at the ceiling. Still, I couldn't wake up. Only then did I remember that I wasn't in my bedroom. I was asleep downstairs in the basement. Suddenly, my right hand felt cold and clammy. Then the back of my neck tingled so much it actually hurt. Somewhere I opened an eye and saw my own arm dangling over the pull-out bed in the basement, my hand still touching the cool cement floor. And for a moment I could also see my bedroom ceiling from the point of view of my other body upstairs. My basement body forced its other eye open, and I felt like I had been punched in the stomach. I sat straight up as if to catch myself. I looked around the dark basement and amazed at how light the darkness appeared. I then let out an embarrassed little giggle as if I just witnessed myself do something stupid. That was the last time I'd sleep in the basement. It wasn't, however, the last time I would leave my body. It'd be many years before I would recognize that this memorable dream was a classic episode of astral projection, or, as modern science now prefers it, out-of-body experience, OBE. And that the zombies, the stairs, even the rapping of the snare drum were characteristic landmarks of that mysterious level of human consciousness the old-time occultists called astral projection. Under the heading Flights of Fantasy. For as long as I can remember, I've experienced vivid dreams of flying. Chances are you have too. Have you ever found yourself in a dream walking down a sidewalk or climbing a flight of stairs, and suddenly your feet and legs feel so heavy and sluggish you just can't take another step? Perhaps you've had dreams of jumping down from incredible heights, from a tree or a cliff or the side of a building, and being amazed that you didn't hurt yourself. How about swimming underwater and discovering you can breathe? These dreams, according to the pundits of astral projection, are more than dreams. They are classic examples of out-of-body experiences, and there are lots of very good reasons we should be paying attention to these nocturnal excursions, not the least of which is the possibility that they might hold the key to our survival after death. OBEs are universal experiences that each and every one of us is hardwired to experience while sleeping. We spend 1/3 of our lives snoozing away. Don't you think we should at least be curious about the strange worlds we inhabit during so much of our lives? For 8 hours every night, we are unrestricted by the limitations of our physical bodies. We can fly. We can pass through walls. We can create things simply by thinking them into existence. We can meet loved ones who have passed on. We can make love to a film star, play the violin, walk on water, visit other planets, throw a no-hitter, buy a house in Newport Beach, or even rent a house in Newport Beach. Reward our friends and punish our enemies. But dreams are also filled with terrors and anguish, vengeance-seeking ghosts, monsters and devilish creatures, hopeless situations that fill us with real and excruciating fear. Nocturnal horrors like these make us profoundly thankful that most dreams are forgotten just moments after we wake. Are these nightmares also out-of-body experiences? The answer is yes. At least sometimes. As terrifying as the thought may be, it's possible that the way we conduct ourselves in dreams and nightmares might affect the conditions of our survival after death. But before we discuss that, let's just talk a moment about the differences between common dreams and out-of-body experiences. Okay, I know that's a little short for today, but this article will probably require 3 short readings for us to finish. And as I have a lot of challenges before me today after Sunday school here, we're going to dismiss Sunday school now and meet again bright and early tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Until then, continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.